Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, Best Care Home Services, and DeSoto Outdoors and Archery.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 on this November the 19th, opening day of the gun season for deer in Tennessee. Opening day for what in Frank, what's going on in Arkansas today?
My friends are duck hunting, and I'm in here with you.
Well, you're really a good guy, Frank. Thank you. I know that.
Only you, Larry.
Yeah, only you. Well, you got 59 days, so but you'll be
no. I have 60 days.
Yeah, he's going.
When we get done, I'm going out there.
All right. Hey, we like to talk to our good friend Thom Benson over at the Tennessee Aquarium and IMAX Theater in Chattanooga, because there's something always going on over there. And not only are we going to talk to Thom a little bit about a new facility that they've got as part of their science programs, but also I want to touch base with, as Thom mentioned off the air, about the drought situation in their area. I know it's bad here, but it's really bad in the Chattanooga and the Huntsville area like that. Good morning, Thom.
Good morning, Larry. Great to be with you.
Thank you. You mentioned that it's smoky in Chattanooga, and that has nothing to do with the mountains. It's the fires, right?
Yeah, we've really had a desperate situation over here. We're in the heart of the exceptional drought which has been plaguing the southeast. The smoky conditions, Larry, have actually been picking up on satellite imagery and has spread from the immediate Chattanooga, North Georgia area down as far south as Atlanta, as far northwest as Nashville, up into Knoxville. I mean, it's really bad. We have something like 67 active fires. And they've been calling in firefighters from the western United States to supplement some of the forestry officials that have been battling these blazes over the past several weeks. So we've had it much drier than you have over in Memphis. You know, statewide we've been pretty dry. My mother-in-law lives in southern Illinois, and I know they've gotten a lot more rain from Nashville back up into southern Illinois and out towards Memphis. But here, we're more than 20 inches below normal.
Which it seems kind of strange to be talking about natural wetland. I mean, because, you know, we're not wet right now, but you guys have come up with something. Again, you've added to the flagship riverfront facility. Now you have a new Tennessee Aquarium Conservation Institute. Explain what's been added over there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just opened on October 27th our new Freshwater Science Center. It's the first of its kind in the Southeast, and really this is an expansion of the conservation field program that we've been doing since 1996 here at the Aquarium. So for your friends that are boaters and have been over here on the Tennessee River before, we're located just downstream from downtown Chattanooga at the mouth of the Tennessee River Gorge, directly across from Williams Island. So a lot of your boaters will probably be familiar with that, folks who have been at fishing tournaments and so forth. If you're over this direction and you're coming upstream from Lake Nickajack, you'll see our facility on the riverbanks there. It's kind of a green building with the Tennessee Aquarium logo on it, and that's the central hub of operations for our scientists. We've been expanding those programs here over the last couple of years.
Well, I know the foundation itself is 1996, and you guys have done a lot of work on Lake Sturgeon, the Southern Appalachian brook trout, and now you've been able to do this in a facility, 14,000 square foot facility, that's going to be where all your conservation scientists will be able to do a lot more work, have a lot more space, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of your audience would be very interested in the work that we're doing. Of course, Trout Unlimited is a big supporter of our Southern Appalachian Brook Trout program. We work very closely with a number of partners like U.S. Fish and Wildlife and Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency on things like the Southern Appalachian Brook Trout program. So we've had these programs in different locations here in the Chattanooga area, but we've finally been able to bring them under one roof and expand our capabilities by adding some new laboratory spaces for genetic work to look at other species, to look at morphology, to have an education space where we can really help mentor the next generation of environmental scientists that will be working on freshwater issues, and a great convening space. As you know, Larry, the Southeast is this hotbed of biodiversity. You know, we've got more than half of all the native fishes in North America right here in the Southeast. We've got most of the turtles and salamanders and mussels and crayfish, so we've got a lot to protect. And unfortunately, unlike the western United States, where there's a lot of protected lands, here in the Southeast, there isn't as much. And so we're really kind of working with these partners to do what we can to protect the natural resources that everybody, including your listeners, enjoy. And
also that you operate under a very tight budget compared to everybody else. I did notice that because more than 1,400 aquatic species reside in waterways within a 500-mile radius of Chattanooga. That blows my mind. Three-quarters % of all native fish species in the United States, 90% of the American mussels and crayfish species live within the same area. And then I look down here and I see that between 2012 and 2014, total expenditure on programs to study freshwater fish species in the Southwest averages $6.2 million. And now I'd like to have that. That's a nice amount of money. But compared to other areas, it's $636 million. You guys do a lot with a lot less.
Well, and so that's why it's important for us to work with other agencies,
yes,
because as state and federal budgets continue to shrink, you know, a lot of the money, we have most of the biodiversity here in the Southeast, but most of the money is going to the western United States. And it's game fish, which there's nothing wrong with supporting those programs that support trout and salmon in the western United States. But by golly, we've got a lot of fish here that are very important to our people here, and it's part of our natural heritage. So we're just trying to get more of that federal and state money to come into the Southeast to protect all of this wildlife that we have. And I think, you know, again, anybody who's been out in nature and enjoys the outdoors as much as your listeners do can understand that we really have a lot. You know, we just live in this very special place. And so, you know, we need to do what we can to encourage our elected leadership to send some of that money to the Southeast to help protect these animals.
And the Tennessee Aquarium, Frank, is, as I mentioned to him, I've been several times and had a chance. In fact, I got to see it before it ever opened. That's one of my highlights, that we were there and got to see it. Now, it opened when? How old is the aquarium now?
Yeah, we're gonna celebrate our 25th anniversary, Larry, in May.
Really? 25 years in May. That just doesn't seem possible. Well, I guess it does, with as old as I am and everything. And it's located. You got a perfect location. You're right there on the banks of the Tennessee River, revitalized downtown Chattanooga, all these different kind of things like that. And has the visitor numbers, Thom, are they continue to be impressive, or how are things going at the aquarium?
Yeah, we've actually had a very good season, and you know, we continue to do things within the two aquarium buildings to keep the attraction fresh and interesting for our visitors. And some of those changes are relatively small, and some are big new exhibits, and we try to do that as often as possible. Our IMAX Theater is another great attraction, and people just really enjoy visiting Chattanooga. Of course, I think you've been out on our River Gorge Explorer to cruise the Tennessee River,
yes.
And so there's another attraction that helps keep people coming back to Chattanooga and enjoying everything that we have to offer. We've got a new darter exhibit that will open here somewhere around the 1st of December that will feature some of these colorful fish from East Tennessee and the mountains of Northeast Tennessee that I think people really enjoy seeing. That's one of the smaller changes. And then next spring, we're opening a new lemur exhibit in our Ocean Journey building. So
really?
We'll have a group of lemurs that people can meet next May.
Where do they come from?
All lemur species are found on the island of Madagascar, just east of Africa.
Yeah.
And so they're very cool animals. They have an interesting story, and we think that it fits right in with everything that we're doing in our Ocean Journey building.
Well, you know, the aquarium itself is a journey, but you guys do so much work on the side, and that's why I'm really impressed with this new facility for us, the scientific side. A lot of people just think, well, I'm going to go over and see some fish, see things like that, and I'm going to go and try to watch that movie with both eyes open and not get claustrophobic like I do, trying to watch the IMAX. But there's a lot of, you mentioned it, fish that maybe people don't think about, like the I was looking at these things: the rush darter, the vermilion darter, the watercress darter. I just thought there was a darter, but there's a whole.
They're as beautiful as any tropical fish. They really are. The males get very colorful in the springtime when they're in their breeding colors. The Barron's top minnow is another one that most people don't know exists in Middle Tennessee, and it's a species that we've been working to protect since 1999. We have the Barron's top minnow lab exhibit where people can actually see where we're raising these fish to take them back into the wild and release them. A drought-related story, just last week we went up north of Manchester, Tennessee with our scientists to check on some springs for kind of the last couple of strongholds for this endangered fish, and one of those was almost completely dry. We ended up seining through those streams to actually rescue the remaining fish because the water levels had gotten so desperately low, and we were able to get 64 fish, which we brought back to Chattanooga, in what we call an ARC population. And had we not done that, that particular genetic strain of that species would have gone extinct. But now they're living here in Chattanooga. We'll try to raise some more up from that 64 that we got and then take them all back when the water levels return, and hopefully that'll happen as early as the first of the year. But right now it is just a mess here as far as how dry it is. Next week we'll probably go up on Walden Ridge just north of Chattanooga here to do the same thing with another endangered species, the laurel dace.
Now, what was this other one you were talking about? You only got 64 of them. What species is that?
The Barron's top minnow. They were found across parts of Middle Tennessee. The western mosquito fish was introduced, an invasive species that fed on the larval young of the Barron's top minnow and basically kind of wiped them out. They were down to just 3 locations, and because of the efforts of U.S. Fish and Wildlife, Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, and the Tennessee Aquarium and some others, we have been able to get them back into 14 locations, but the 2 kind of remaining totally wild populations that were last strongholds, one of them is spring-fed a little bit more robustly than the one that we rescued them in. The one that we rescued them in was just, there was hardly enough water to go over the boots of the folks that were standing in the stream.
All right. Well, Tom, give them the information, how they get the more information about the aquarium and the IMAX Theater.
You can just go to TennesseeAquarium.com, Google us there, or check out our Facebook page. There's a lot of great information there, and I would encourage outdoor enthusiasts to like the Tennessee Aquarium Conservation Institute Facebook page to find out about some of these programs. And you're talking about the shotgun season starting. I think there's going to be a lot of hunters here in East Tennessee that are going to be disappointed because of these fires. There's a lot of Forest Service that has blocked off a lot of trails that are closed because of the fires over here. It's really a bad situation here.
And you can always find them because they're only closed on Thanksgiving and Christmas, right, Tom?
That's right. Yep.
All right, buddy. Thank you. We got to go. Thank you, Tom Benson. We'll talk to you again. Okay, buddy?
Have a good one.
All right, thanks. All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray, ESPN 790.
You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry.